This is the most annoying thing ever in the world. So we'll see if this works out. So this has happened occasionally once in a while. My computer, for whatever, is old and doesn't do YouTube all that well. So I'm trying to make my videos. Sometimes I have these things that pop up. This connection is weak, and we'll try to reconnect. And I've kept going before because the clock was still going up at the top, but then when I went back to play it back, there was nothing there. There was just nothing because the connection wasn't there. So I just have started, just in case, to restart the feed. Now I'm not going to restart it. I did part one already, 25 minutes already of one part of the episode. I've already talked about a bunch of stuff, so I'm not going to redo those parts. I'm going to put them together as a group and try to finish it up on this one, which is 67A, Dinosaur Eulogy 2. So already talked about the major stuff, Sam Neill's death and Fortnite and the Odyssey and stuff like that. So we're just going to move on here. I think the last thing I remember was I was talking about Peter Jackson filming his Adventure of Tintin movie. He and Spielberg were going to team up for two movies back in the mid 2000s. Spielberg made his, but Peter Jackson never able to make his, so they had to eventually are going to do it. It's his next film, so that's good about that. And what else was there? The J.J. Abrams, the Great Beyond is supposed to be like a huge J.J. Abrams film with Glenn Powell and Jenna Ortega. It's supposed to be a big hit, stuff like that. And they company saw it and did not like the cut of it. Did not like that. It just didn't seem to work out for them. So J.J. Abrams said he was going to go back in and redo some stuff. So they had to push the date. It was come out this year. It is now coming out on October 1st, 2027. Almost a full year later, so he's going to have to redo the movie again, or portions of it, and redo special effects and stuff like that. So we won't see it till next year. That in turn has pushed the Batman sequel, which has had a horrible time getting started as well. It's been 6 years between movies. It's filming right now. It was supposed to come out on October 1st, 2027, but now it's been shifted to February 18th, 2028. So the new Batman movie will not be out now for 2 years, even though it's filming right now because they got to do special effects, stuff like that. So that's just bonkers stuff. So that's just insane that is a situation that has to be done, but that's what it is. I talked about earlier in the last part. They're doing a Halloween animatronics, a Bigfoot, a Medusa, and a Slender Man. Another one that's coming up here soon is Stay Puft Marshmallow Man animatronic is also going to be coming out here soon. It doesn't state where you can get it from. I don't think it's like a Home Depot or Lowe's. I think it's something you have to buy online. I don't think it's a Halloween store as well. So it's something you have to buy online somewhere. But they look pretty good, though. Shirley Temple is getting a huge return. The Shirley Temple 7-Up is one of the best holiday drinks out there. 2 years running. We're going to get it again this year. But Rita's is now getting to the Shirley Temple saga. Gatorade also has a Shirley Temple that's only a specialized one for one person, but maybe we'll see that open eventually. But the Shirley Temple Italian Ice is now available at Rita's, so you can get that as well. We got a new poster for The Uprising and a trailer for the Paul Greengrass movie starring Andrew Garfield. I did not get to look at it, but it looks like a old school, like medieval sort of film about a farmer who is not a warmonger who has to rise up to save his family. So Joe Alwyn is set to join Selena Gomez, Cate Blanchett, and Michael Fassbender in The Origins of the World. This is interesting. This was kind of talked about when James Gunn took over the DCU. He mentioned how much he liked the Blue Beetle movie. And that was the last we heard of it for years. But then we were announced this week that Blue Beetle the actor who played him is also coming back, will be in the new Superman Man of Tomorrow movie coming out next year. So that's pretty cool. Walter Boy's third season gets a trailer set to debut August 6th. Never saw the first two. Don't even know what it's about. So whatever. Rosario Dawson, Lamorne Morris, Joshua Jackson, Stephen Root, Edie Patterson, Megan Fairley, Glenn Howerton to star in The Girlfriend. So that's kind of interesting. A good cast there. The American League won the All-Star game, which was this week. And as I said earlier in the show, in my other show, Argentina versus Spain is in the World Cup final starting tomorrow. England beat France today 6-4 in the third place game. A man was attacked by a beaver while swimming on 4th of July. So that's an interesting story there. Anniversaries, X-Men, the original X-Men debuted 26 years ago this week. The death of Billy the Kid was 145 years ago this week. True Lies, the last non-Avatar Titanic film and last film that James Cameron did with Arnold Schwarzenegger, debuted 32 years ago this week. Die Hard debuted 38 years ago this week. There's Something About Mary debuted 28 years ago this week. A Fish Called Wanda debuted 38 years ago this week as well. Death, Sam Masaru Sekoff, a literary manager for Entertainment 360, died at the age of 33 this week. And I think that's it for this page. Still kind of pissed I had to do a second part of this. Oh, well. Mayday trailer. Ryan Reynolds and Kenneth Branagh are set to team up for an Apple TV film set in the 1980s during the Cold War. Steve Buscemi is to lead the live-action Far Cry series. Don't know what Far Cry is, but there he is. Sterling Point trailer. Don't know what that is. Debuted. It comes out August 5th on Prime. New trailer for The Dog Stars. Ridley Scott's new movie came out this week as well. George Lucas says studios are relying too much on audience testing, which is causing kind of the downfall of cinema a little bit. And I kind of have to agree with him on a lot of stuff because all the discourse about Supergirl with the critics and the Rotten Tomatoes score and the incels online and stuff like that, and obsession with box office stuff. George Lucas was just like, this is bullshit. You should just let people do art, and if they don't like it, well, they don't like it. End of story. Don't entertain it. Just let people make their own decisions. The 2-seat toilet to share your bathroom time with your partner is a true thing and is out there now. September 2nd, the Mandalorian Lego special on Disney Plus is going to debut. The Mandalorian Grogu is going to hit digital this week on July 21st and Blu-ray on my son's birthday, August 25th. The B&O Railroad Museum in Baltimore got a new name, and I will not be calling it anything else except for the B&O Museum. First look trailer at Behemoth with Pedro Pascal from Tony Gilroy. Cartoon Cat, another one of these creepypasta sort of things. Trevor Hendricks's viral animated short is getting a horror film from Sony. Of course it is, because it's sort of a creepypasta sort of thing, and that stuff is hot right now. One of the best actors living right now, Sam Rockwell and Alfred Molina and Marin Ireland are set to star in A View from the Bridge on Broadway. So that's a really good Broadway cast. October 8th, this is really cool. Set that date for Below, the Netflix horror series with Josh Hartnett, Mackenzie Davis, and Charlie Heaton about a small town in Newfoundland that is being terrorized by an unknown sea creature. It's got a great premise, it's got a great cast, and it's filmed on location in Newfoundland. And it's set to debut on October 8th on Netflix. I'm dying to see it. I cannot wait to see it. I have not seen a trailer yet, but they just announced that, and they showed some pictures from the set, which we've already seen, I think, already. So the trailer should be edited. With San Diego Comic-Con coming up this week, we might be seeing a lot of stuff. So next week's episode of Dylan Knows might be San Diego Comic-Con heavy, since it's this week. So we'll see what happens with that. Breaking Bad Funko Pops are joining the Funko Pops seem to be having a renaissance here. Also from Funko Pops are doing a glow-in-the-dark Scarecrow, the Batman villain, which is a really cool looking one also. Crazy Skeleton Gummy Candy. As I said, the Halloween candies and stuff are starting to get announced like crazy now. Ringo Starr and Paul McCartney are set to record a duet. First time they've done a duet in their lives, but it's the first time that the two former remaining Beatles have released a song together. They do events and stuff like that together, but they've never sang together really until this one right here. This is an interesting idea. The Hotel Transylvania animated series from Adam Sandler. We watched the first one with our kids and haven't watched any of the remaining ones, like 2, 3, 4, three more after that. Great voice cast involved with that, great premise and stuff like that. And there's Pepper for his cameo in my show. But they're finally doing a new one, and it looks really, really good. It's got a really good title also. It's called The Haunting of Hotel Transylvania. And it sounds like a really neat idea if they can get Andy Samberg back, because he wasn't in the last film to voice the one character that he does. That'd be cool. But it's set to debut on October 8th, 2027. We got our first look at it. It's a really neat looking picture of of Dracula's daughter in this weird hallway, like hearing something that seems to freak her out a little bit. So it actually looks like a decent animated film that won't be out till next Halloween. That's you. Look at you. Yeah, that was you. You saw yourself on the TV. So they've been rumors about this for ages, but the MCU after Secret War is starting to shape up a little bit. A Nova film is in the works now from the one of the main writers of the Loki series, Michael Warnock. So that's pretty cool to see that coming up here. Susan Kelechi Watson has joined Apple TV's untitled political thriller. Don't know who she is, but big enough deal that they made a story about it. So what can be one of the weirdest movies of the year? We got our first trailer for it, and I'm still holding firm on this, but the trailer for Digger, Tom Cruise's potential Best Actor award-winning film, was released, and how should I describe it? I gotta see. I gotta think of the name of the movie that came out last year that I saw. I just need to think of. Let's just do Owen Wilson, because I know he's been in a bunch of these movies. Let me see who the director is. There we go. Wes Anderson. So I know it's an Inarritu movie, but Digger looks like a Wes Anderson movie. And it looks really, really weird. It's shot weird, and it's a comedy drama sort of thing, but it doesn't look like it's a full-on dramatic sort of role like the Birdman and the Revenant were. It's a completely different thing, but that's good for Tom Cruise because he's playing a character. Tom Cruise is unrecognizable in this role. He's got, like he was in Tropic Thunder, he's got a look similar to that. He's an older gentleman, balding, pasty white sort of look on his face, who's obsessed with his cat. He's also a gazillionaire whose stuff is destroying Greenland. I think the storyline is that a giant chunk of Greenland breaks off due to stuff that he was doing, and it's on its way to crash into Europe, and the UK is and that'll destroy that, and that'll in turn cause a chain reaction, which could destroy the world. So he's got to figure out a way to solve the problem that he caused. It's a unique looking movie, and I'm beginning to have maybe some doubts that he's going to win the Best Actor for this, because it looks just like maybe a little too weird of a performance that would get an Oscar thing. But we'll see. I'm just going by what's on the trailer. I'm intrigued by it. It's coming out the day that I'm taking off from work, so I might see it when it comes out. It just looks really, really weird. Anniversaries: Ghost came out 36 years ago this week. Inception came out 16 years ago this week. Chris Nolan also likes to have specific weekends he likes to do. Live Aid debuted 41 years ago this week. I was in New Jersey, so we actually could. We watched the Philadelphia one. The Blair Witch Project debuted 27 years ago this week. Death, Blake Garrett, a child star who starred in the film version of How to Eat Fried Worms, passed away. Theo Burrell, an Antique Roadshow star, died at the age of 39. And I think that's it. April 23rd, 2027, Spaceballs 2. The next one is coming out. And we get our first look poster and kind of a synopsis that apparently is a true synopsis. And it's sort of a cheesy little look at film trends of the year. It starts off with somehow Dark Helmet Return, which is great, which is making fun of how somehow Palpatine returned, line from the last Star Wars movie. And the basic premise is that apparently looks like Princess Vespa and Lone Star have broken up, but they have a son. Lone Star is sort of in the Han Solo mode that he was in the Force Rises, where he is off on his own away from his wife. His wife is running the kingdom. She's Queen Vespa now. And her son and his mysterious companion Destiny are tasked by Princess Vespa to pick up as many former members of the Spaceballs movie that they can find to combat an evil brought about from the original Spaceballs movie. That it means going after, Dark Helmet and his crew, and going against, finding Lone Star and all his, and everyone that sort of helped out in any form or another to sort of have a reboot altogether. It's a really neat idea. Sounds interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. Tyreek Withers, Isabel May to star in a rom-com Love. October 15th, 2026, we got our first look at the Crystal Lake prequel. Well, that's the date it's coming out, but we got our first look at it this week with Linda Calderino especially. The Eastern Coyote was spotted in the Parkville area, which is here locally in Maryland, so that's interesting. It's Baltimore County. Fanta Dreamy Cream and Blissful Hibiscus sodas are going to be coming out, but only available in Australia. The Backrooms Funko Pops are the next big Funko Pop also to be coming out. Harry Potter Cauldron Cakes and Chocolate Frog Coffee Creamers will be returning. The Cauldron Cake one especially really, really good. And a Snickerdoodle Coffee Creamer is on its way out here soon too. We also have Harry Potter Gummies as a new thing as well. A man claims that his cat got jury duty, and he spent 6 weeks fighting it to make sure that she didn't have to do it, obviously. Mars Attacks 4K version hits in August. Sopranos and Tom and Jerry may be coming to Fortnite. Again, I've seen these sort of ads before, and they're probably just sort of AI generated sort of things and not going to happen. So we'll see, but there's potential. Starbucks' pumpkin spice double shot energy drink is coming. That could be pretty interesting. Blasted Totino's pizza rolls. We have Zesty Limon with pepperoni. We have garlic parm with pepperoni and nacho boom with cheese. Michael, the biopic about Michael Jackson, crosses $1 billion, the first biopic to ever do that. Canadian wildfires have been a major issue in our area for the last 2 or 3 days now. Same thing happened about 3 years ago when Canadian wildfire smoke was blown into our area, and it caused the air quality over the last couple of days to be extremely unhealthy, very smoky, hazy, and stinks. And they say that the air quality was so bad it would be the equivalent of smoking 8 to 14 cigarettes in a 24-hour period. So that's how bad it was. But we had some storms come through today that I think has wiped out some of that smell. Now, the problem is, again, the weathermen keep threatening that we're going to get these big storms and the severe storms and stuff like that hit us. And then we get like a quick burst of rain and barely any thunder and lightning. And then that's it. It's over and done with. While other areas get more than we do. But they claim that we're going to do this. So I'm getting to the point where I just don't even believe them anymore, because they're like, yeah, this area is going to get hit hard with powerful storms and possible tornadoes and heavy winds and heavy rain. It rained very briefly twice today, and then it was done and over with. So I don't know what they're looking at. But yes, it's an issue right now. Ryan Hurst, while filming The God of War as Kratos, was severely injured. Production is now stopped, and they will have to recast because he will not be able to rejoin the cast for a little bit over a year now, and they don't want to wait anymore, so they're going to have to recast the role. A new Army study shows that women are more physically resilient than men enduring grueling Ranger school training. So fuck you, gentlemen. The Orioles' 2027 schedule was released. It may not be an even issue because the Major League Baseball might go on strike, but they are not, again, as always, playing on my birthday. The last 10 years, they played on my birthday at home on 1 year. In the last 10 years, it's either an away game or an off day. So the one game that they did play at home on my birthday, we went to. My birthday is a summer birthday. I kind of would like to go to an Oriole game on my birthday. I used to do that when I was younger. They used to play on my birthday all the time, but now they don't. And so, oh well. So that's the first thing I always check when the new schedule comes out. I see if they're playing on my birthday. This time they'll be in Tampa Bay. But to be fair, there's probably going to be no Major League Baseball next year due to the strike that's coming. Here's some space news, which is kind of interesting. One, Halley's Comet has started its long return journey back towards the sun. It's set to pass the Earth in 2061. Halley's Comet is one of those that you learn about in school. For whatever reason, it was pulled out and was made as a part of the curriculum. For me, particularly because it came past the Earth in 86, which was the last time. It has a 76-year orbit of the sun. So every 76 years, it goes past the Earth. So 86, and it was okay. It wasn't as impressive as people were thinking, because the last time it happened previous to that in 1910, something like that, it was a huge thing because, let's face facts, there was less light that could drown it out because the light was still fairly, used not as often, and the night sky was still dark, and wasn't as much haze and stuff like that. So 1910 was a huge year for Halley's Comet, which is what made it kind of be historic, since it's every 76 years, and it was a big deal in America back then. And then it hit in 86 and was a big deal, and then it was just like, that's okay. A little speck in the sky, you could see it. It was about this big, just flying by. But it did bring about Comet Man, which was a comic book written by one of my favorite supporting actors, Miguel Ferrer, and Bill Mumy, drawn by Kelly Jones. It was a 6-issue miniseries, and it was really decent, and I really liked it a lot. So Halley's Comet is starting its return journey back through our solar system. It'll hit in 2061, which is 35 years from now. God willing, I'll still be alive. I'll be 88 years old when it rolls through here again. And a landslide was discovered on Pluto, big enough to bury a large city on Earth. And that's not the only Pluto thing. I forgot to write down also. Not JPL, but the telescope that's been taking lots of pictures, the JHPL camera, whatever, took some pictures of Pluto, and true color ones, and they're really fascinating looking. So Pluto is not getting the respect that it does, but maybe it's starting to get a little bit more here. Deaths. All right. Wai Ching Ho, Daredevil and Iron Fist actress, passed away at the age of 82. Hector Valley, a Major League Baseball player, died this week as well. Josh Grissetti, Broadway legend, died of suicide. Anniversaries. Road to Perdition, a decent Tom Hanks comic book adaptation, debuted 24 years ago this week. Explorers, Ethan Hawke's first film, debuted 41 years ago this week with River Phoenix, young River Phoenix as well, directed by Joe Dante. Point Break, came out 35 years ago with Patrick Swayze and Keanu Reeves. Reading Rainbow with LeVar, I forget his last name. But that came out 43 years ago this week. Pacific Rim came out 13 years ago this week. That's Guillermo del Toro's kaiju film. And that's that. So Archie Comics has been doing crazy stuff lately. They do really interesting crossovers that are unexpected. Here's a new one for you. Archie versus Terminator series is going to be coming out here soon. Definitely unique. August 14th, the X-Files, I Want to Believe R-rated director's cut will be arriving at Peacock. The original film was PG-13, I guess, and didn't do very well in the theaters. And so Chris Carter came back and was able to make some changes that he's been dying to make and was able to fix it. Oreo Cookies and Cream Ghost Cookies are coming out for Halloween. They look pretty decent. Jimothy is the newest mascot on Threads right now and on online. A raccoon, baby raccoon, who has a spine issue, which makes him look a little puffball with weird legs, has been photographed in the Seattle suburbs and has taken the world by storm, much how Punch the Monkey did earlier this year as well. So we have a new raccoon in Jimothy to keep your eye on. I've never been a big energy drink fan, but I may have to try this Halloween, actually more autumn-flavored one. I have a little Halloween twist to it. The Ruby Apple Witch's Brew Energy Alani drink, which is a new energy drink thing. I've never had an Alani before. I might have to try that. It's apple, it's Witch's Brew, it's Halloween, it's autumn. We'll see how that goes. So I may, if I can find it, pick that up when it comes out. Okay. You can't believe a lot of casting news you see on the internet, but there's rumors that Adam Driver is said to be cast as Mr. Sinister in the X-Men movies. They also have him as being cast as Magneto, which would be absolutely terrible if that was the case. Supposedly, we're supposed to get the X-Men cast at San Diego this year. Again, that could just be someone wishing against hope that that's going to happen and that they're going to try to make it happen, but manifest it happening. But I don't think we'll find out, obviously. Disney Plus is rebooting the Mickey Mouse Club that brought us Britney Spears, Ryan Gosling, Annette Funicello, and a few others as well. Gus the T-Rex skeleton has been sold at auction for $50.1 million. I guess I could fit in with my Dinosaur Eulogy title as well as the Sam Neill death. As I said, I talked about Sam Neill in the first part of this show, and I had technical issues, so there's two parts to this show. So go watch the first part. There's other really cool news on there as well. Steve Wacker has been named the new editor-in-chief of Marvel. He was coming over from DC and is now head of Marvel, which is he's a decent editor from what I recall. And they're moving production of Marvel comics from New York to LA, which is the end of an era, sort of. Sophie Nélisse set to star in the adaptation of This Summer. Jodie Whittaker is set to join a new dramedy called Chicks, I guess, with Ellen Pompeo of Grey's Anatomy fame. Excuse me. Gal Gadot is set to star in a new Prime film called The Runner. We got our first trailer at that. Fortnite has a new battle bus victory royale thing, and it doesn't happen every game, but I've won 2 so far. Basically, what happens when there's about 5 people left in the game, the battle bus appears on the island at a specific point, and you have 2 minutes to get to the battle bus. And if you're on the battle bus when the clock hits 0, you win. And you could have multiple people on there. So if you have, if all 5 of you could work it out and you all get on there and not shoot each other and try to kill each other, just sit up there, you all would win Victory Royale. It's an interesting take on it. It doesn't happen every match. It's also kind of annoying because if you do not get on the battle bus, even though you might be fully powered up with shield and health and stuff like that, you're not going to win the match regardless. You won't be able to do anything. You're going to die instantly, even though there's nothing wrong with you. So it's a love-hate sort of thing. As I said, I've won twice on it already. I think I lost one, but I think I was killed before it. Actually, I've lost a couple of them, but I don't think I've ever lost where I lost because it took off. I think I lost because I was killed before it took off. Magnitude 5.9 earthquake hit New Zealand this week. Nasty, a new film out there, cast Jenna Ortega and Rose Byrne as a student teacher who have issues with each other. Jenna Ortega's student, Rose Byrne's the teacher. They have issues with each other. I think she's a gymnast and she is a teacher who's trying to keep her down, sort of thing. The great Michael Keaton 1980s film The Dream Team with Christopher Lloyd, Peter Boyle. I'm forgetting who the other actor is in that one. He was in Animal House. He was the fat guy in Animal House. I forget his name. Anyway, so they're getting a 4K treatment of that. So that's pretty cool. Our first look at The Children of Blood and Bone, which has been getting a lot of info because the writer of it does not like the adaptation of it, but it does have an all-black cast, which is interesting. It's set to debut January 15th, 2027, in time for Martin Luther King weekend. A couple of funny stories. First up, a woman went to the movies a couple years ago. This was just a storyline that came out this week. Went to see the movie Sing 2 1 week before her due date. And at the end of the movie, as she was walking out, she went into labor and delivered her child in the lobby of the movie theater. The movie theater has christened the daughter that was born on their property as someone who never has to pay for movies ever again. Goes to as many movies as she wants to for free for being born in their movie theater. So that's kind of neat. And the other interesting one is, this is actually really interesting. So a woman's husband was kidnapped by a gang. No, you don't want this. It's not for you. Was kidnapped by a gang. So his wife found the gang leader's mother and kidnapped her so they could make a exchange. Pretty interesting. Oh yeah, I do deaths. Let's do anniversaries first. Anniversaries: Jurassic Park 3. Sam Neill, rest in peace, debuted 25 years ago this week. Inception debuted 16 years ago this week. Hocus Pocus debuted 33 years ago this week. Eyes Wide Shut debuted 27 years ago this week. iRobot debuted 26 years ago this week. Easy A debuted 16 years ago this week. George of the Jungle debuted 29 years ago this week. And death, bear with me here, he is a wrestler who died at the age of 77. He's known as Siva Afi, but I want to try to read his full name. His sort of Hawaiian sort of name. It's Papali Itele, Max Amada Tawagan. passed away, known as Siva Afi, a wrestler. All right. Trailer for that. I talked about that already. Trailer for The Uprising is set to debut on September 11th with Andrew Garfield. Spicy Sprite coming to McDonald's. Don't know what that's about, but there's McDonald's posted a picture of a Spicy Sprite can, so we'll see that happens. An Odyssey TV series has been announced. That's interesting to see with the way it's being popular right now. Already talked about that. Dodgers had a Godzilla -0, or will have a Godzilla -0 night in September with a release of a LA Dodgers Godzilla mashup bobblehead. While doing the press for the Odyssey, the very pregnant Anne Hathaway was given a gladiator uniform for her baby that was crocheted on the Good Morning show. They showed a picture of it. It's absolutely adorable. It's crocheted sandals, a crocheted sort of helmet, and sort of gladiator sort of outfit on. It's really kind of cool. So really, really kind of cute. I talked about that. First look at the life and death of Wilson Shedd. Amanda Seyfried, Sean McNary. It's a film directed by Tim Blake Nelson. I did not know this existed. Don't know how long ago it came out. I never heard of it till now. But there's apparently a zombie Titanic book called Deck Z. I think from what I gather from it, it's about zombies that are attacking the Titanic, and that's what caused it to sink and not an iceberg. Our first look at Priyanka Chopra in RR director's new film Varanasi, about a time-traveling Shiva devotee who must traverse history to secure cosmic artifacts and stay away from an evil mastermind. So that's pretty cool. Falling Down gets a 4K, out now, actually. Hostess to release Halloween autumn-flavored Twinkies, cupcakes, donuts, including maple glazed donuts and the pumpkin spice Twinkies. The Guild, one of my favorite online shows starring Felicia Day, that came out in the mid-2000s. It's a decent online. You can find all the episodes on YouTube, I think. Is coming back as a movie that Felicia Day has written and is going to bring back the entire cast. But they're doing it old school. They're doing it with a Kickstarter. And their Kickstarter goes live on Monday, July 20th. That might be, I'm not a big proponent of, I'm fine with people setting up Kickstarters, but I've never really done a part of it. I might actually give money to this Kickstarter because I like the Guild, and we'll see about that. So that's, if you like doing Kickstarters and you've ever seen the Guild, or you should check out the Guild, I think you'll like it a lot. Just type in the Guild on YouTube. You'll find all the videos. They're really, really good. Definitely check it out. Arizona keeps coming up with great drinks that you can only get at 7-Eleven. Their new one is whipped strawberry banana, which could be interesting. Little Debbie also has fall snacks coming out, including pumpkin spice oatmeal cream pies and brownie pumpkins. Coleman Domingo is set to write a live action story based on Princess and the Frog. So let me kind of explain that. So The Princess and the Frog was a Disney animated film with their first kind of African-American princess. She really wasn't a princess. She was a woman who wanted, her dream in life was to own a restaurant in New Orleans. And her name was Tiana. And she is considered a Disney princess. And she works in her father's restaurant, wants to become a chef. And then she meets a rich, like, prince or whatever that I think she falls in love with, but he's kind of a douchebag. And he screws over, like, this voodoo lady who turns him into a frog. And she has to try to save him. I forget why. And that's it. They've been seeing how live action animated remakes, some hit, some don't. Moana live action did not hit. And we'll see. I think Tangle's going to do really well. The live action Tangle's going to do really well next year, I think. And the How to Train Your Dragon live action did well last year, and the sequel will be out next year. I think that'll do well too. But not everything works out. So instead of doing a straight up live action adaptation of The Princess and the Frog, which you could have done, but Coleman Domingo decided, you know what, she deserves her own original story set, as her as the main character and set in that world. So he will be writing that, and I don't know if he's going to be co-starring in it or if he's directing it or whatever, but I know he's writing the script for that, so I think it's kind of cool. Endangered red wolf population grows. New pups were discovered in the North Carolina wilds, so that's pretty good. How would you like to have this job? It's a job in Japan where a real estate company will pay somebody to spend the night in a house where somebody passed away recently in the house or near it or recently. And they're supposed to spend the night there and report back in the morning if there was any supernatural activity due to the ghost of the person who just passed away. If there is, they'll let them know and they'll figure out a way to get it out of there or just leave it alone and not touch the house and try to sell it. Or if there isn't anything that happens, they could feel comfortable about listing it for sale and people will not have to worry about living in a haunted house. So that's kind of cool. Anniversaries: Lake Placid debuted 27 years ago this week. Arachnophobia debuted 36 years ago this week. The Dark Knight debuted 18 years ago this week. I mean, Nolan loves this time frame. Aliens debuted 40 years ago this week. Deaths: we had Charlie King, NFL player. Chef Dom Taylor was the winner of Netflix's 5-star chef. He passed away at 44. John Kirby, an acting coach who was a brother of Bruno Kirby, who passed away years ago. And Brenda Fricker, this is a sad one. Brenda Fricker passed away. She's the other big actress who died this week. She was in My Left Foot, Home Alone 2, So I Married an Axe Murderer, Angels in the Outfield, stuff like that. She was a great Irish actress. And what's an interesting little thing, a side story, someone on Threads said they had watched Jurassic Park 48 hours before Sam Neill passed away. And so as a joke, they said, I think I'm going to watch Home Alone 2 next, hoping that 48 hours later, Donald Trump will pass away because he's in the movie. And then 48 hours later, Brenda Fricker, who was in Home Alone 2, did pass away. So people on Threads were absolutely going apeshit on this guy as kind of a joke. And he's like, I'm sorry, it was my fault. I take the blame for this. So kind of interesting little side story. But Brenda Fricker was a really good actress. I think she got nominated for My Left Foot. And it was hard acting with Daniel Day-Lewis, but she held her own in that. Home Alone 2, she basically played the old man Marley role as a homeless woman who did fine. And So I Married an Axe Murderer. She was fantastic as Mike Myers' mother, who believed everything she read in the Weekly World News, which is freaking hilarious. Rest in peace, Brenda Fricker. Rest in peace, Sam Neill. As I said, due to technical difficulties, my show has been divided into 2 episodes, 25-minute one, first part. So go and find that because I'm getting ready to finish up this one today. Go and see that first and then watch this one. Or I guess it doesn't really matter, but just go ahead and do that. So now I only got about a page and a half left of stuff here, and then we'll be done. This will be a quick one. Sydney Sweeney is set to officially signed on to Hollow, which is a retelling of Sleepy Hollow, but from Katrina's viewpoint, based on a novel that has not been released yet. So, and the woman who wrote the novel is writing and directing the movie. So that's pretty interesting. A24 is offering Kane Parsons a 3-film, $65 million deal. And he said, that's fine as long as I don't have to deal with your AI shit because I don't like AI stuff. And they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Barbecue brisket Lay's potato chips sound absolutely phenomenal. They'll be coming out here soon too. Cinnamon Toast Crunch apple. I might have to pick that up for my autumn indulgence. Ben & Jerry's is releasing Raz Up, a raspberry flavored ice cream with raspberry somethings in it and dark fudge pieces as a way to draw attention to voting in the midterms. I think you cannot get it in stores. I think you can only get it at the Ben & Jerry's shop. Excuse me. 60 new Barnes & Noble stores will be opening by the end of 2026, which means bookstores are starting to make a comeback, which is good. Maybe some other stuff will be able to make some comebacks here and that. Place like Amazon and online stuff is not the only place to get some stuff like that. One thing I can tell you was there was a Barnes & Noble downtown in Baltimore City by the Inner Harbor at the power plant right next to the aquarium, but that shut down a few years ago. One of these 60 that are reopening by the end of 2026 is one that's going to be opening in the Inner Harbor. Now it's going to be up close to Harbor East, a little bit further up the road, but it will be opening there. So there will be a Barnes & Noble downtown again after 3 or 4 years. Could Twilight also be making its way to Fortnite? Again, as I said, take it with a grain of salt, but we'll see what happens. State Fair is a brand that has new frozen foods, including grilled cheese. These are all frozen food things. You get the frozen food aisle. Barbecue rib sliders, cheeseburger sliders, and barbecue rib sandwich. Wrap Snack, which is a honey bun snack thing, is releasing new ones that are iced. Birthday cake flavored, glazed flavored lemon. There was one other one, but I couldn't tell what it was. Something was blocking its view. First look at Love of Your Life with Margaret Qualley debut this week. It's going to be on Prime. Fallout 5, the video game, is in pre-production right now, and new versions of Fallout 3 and New Vegas are in the works. A 7.4 magnitude earthquake hit off the coast of Mexico in the Pacific Ocean. Renari Spear, who played Percy in the new Harry Potter TV series, is set to join the cast of Bender, an Irish comedy. The new Basic Instinct movie that Joe Esterhaus is writing is said to focus on Catherine Trammell's daughter. Maybe get Sydney Sweeney to play that role since she likes to be the sexually active, sexy person thing. That might be good casting for you. A new planet was discovered in Beta Pictoris, something they've been looking at for 11 years. There was something weird going on in the Beta Pictoris star system. They weren't sure what it was, but they discovered it was a planet. So a new planet has been discovered. AMC is releasing an IMAX camera popcorn bucket, which looks really, really awesome. That might be of the ones I've seen. That might be one I might actually be interested in getting. I'm not the biggest Tom Brady fan, but at a Fanatics festival, he slapped Logan Paul and started a brawl with him, which is awesome because Logan Paul's a douchebag. A 56-year-old Italian man disguised himself as his mother, his dead mother, in order to keep getting her pension payment. And when you see the pictures of what his mother looked like and what he looked like with a wig, it was almost uncanny. A man was trapped in a porta potty for 8 hours trying to retrieve a Mountain Dew bottle, which I don't understand. How are you trying to retrieve it in the toilet itself where all the poop and pee and that's disgusting. And you were trapped in there for 8 hours. Oh my God, that's terrible. Anniversaries. Ant-Man debuted 11 years ago this week. Multiplicity debuted 30 years ago this week. Disneyland opened 71 years ago this week. Eight-Legged Freaks debuted 24 years ago this week. Honey, I Blew Up the Kid debuted 34 years ago this week. RoboCop debuted 39 years ago this week. And Mask of Zorro debuted 28 years ago this week. We have reached this part of my notebook, even though I haven't really been using my notebook as much since I've been doing most of my work at work. But now I have a little bit of it here. So 671, San Diego, and the Odyssey. CD sales are booming, which makes lots of sense because sales have been booming now, and now CD sales are doing really well. Talked about that already. First look at Joseph Morgan and Karen Curry in the Herbert West Reanimator movie that came out this week as well. So we're going to end this episode on some political stuff. First, good political stuff. Manosphere, sexist, misogynist, rapist, fuckbags, Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan have been apprehended by U.S. Marshals and are going to be sent to the UK to stand trial for sexual abuse, rape, and sex trafficking. So thank God they got rid of him. Diarrhea lettuce has been a major issue over the last couple of weeks with a weird bug that's been infested in lettuce and a few other stuff as well, coming from Taylor Farms, which is a farming company that sends out their vegetables via Cisco and are all over the place in grocery stores. Not every grocery store carries them, but Walmart and Costco and Target are some of the ones that sell their brands of Taylor Farm stuff. The parasite that's in it comes from somebody pooping on the lettuce and not getting it cleaned. So you're eating poop lettuce for the most part. Taco Bell was the first people to discover it because they were getting the lettuce from Taylor Farms, discovered that there's something off about it, and then let people know about it, and that's how things got out there. Now they're blaming Taco Bell because the CEO of Taylor Farms is a MAGA fuckwad who gives money to the MAGA shitheads. And so and Taco Bell is run by a black man, so of course they want to blame him. And Mexican foods, they want to blame Mexico too. They're two favorite things to go after. But people have been showing that that's not true. And finally, it's worked. Taylor Farms has finally set a recall for 27 states. Over 7,000 people have been affected by this explosive diarrhea issue. So hopefully that'll get taken care of. Now, we just found out that the salad stuff up at Weiss is not part of Taylor Farms, so we could eat that and we're going to be okay. That'll be the last story I do this week. Deaths: Freddie Boom Boom Cannon, a friend of Svengoolie, died this week. William Wisher Jr., a background actor in Terminator 1 and 2. And anniversary, Jaws the Revenge came out 39 years ago this week. So our last political story for this week is daylight savings time. They are voting. The House voted to keep us at daylight savings time so that we don't have to turn our clocks back, which is something that the government shouldn't be focused on. They should be focused on trying to, stop the war in Iran, help people, and not deal with this fucking MAGA shitheads that are running everything. But they decide to do this as distraction. It goes to Senate. Hopefully, it'll die in the Senate because I don't see what the problem is with changing the times on it. And if it does pass, they're going to be using daylight savings time, which means that during the winter, the sun is not going to rise until like 9 a.m. So your kids will be out in your bus stop or whatever in the dark during that time. And you only get an extra hour of daylight at like 6 o'clock on your way home from work. The rest of the time it'll be dark as usual because that's just how the orbit of the Earth works. So my cat's going crazy. So hopefully it won't pass. And people are pointing out that if you wanted to make something stay the same, you make it standard time, which is what we do in the fall, where we flip the clocks back an hour. If we did that, they would be fine with, most people would be fine with keeping it solid like that. But I hope that it dies in the Senate and we don't have to deal with this ever again. Because it's a bunch of wasted time. It's a waste of Congress's time. They need so much more of the stuff they need to deal with. So fucking stupid. So we'll see what happens. To be continued on that. Hopefully it gets rejected. All right. A little pissed that my first part of the show, I had to stop after the 25-minute mark. which just pisses me off so much. But we do have a two-parter here, so watch both parts. So watch the first one, the 25-minute one first, then watch this one, and you'll get all the information that you need for this week. So it would have been over an hour, so it would have been 25, would be 5, 15, would be an hour, 20 minutes, something like that. So, all right, I'm done. It is now officially Sunday, July 19th. Happy birthday to my brother-in-law. Next week, we have my wife and daughter will be away, so it should be me and my son here. We will have any stuff that's come up from San Diego, any new things that pop up in San Diego, and my review of the Odyssey, which I'm going to go be seeing at 2 p.m. this afternoon with my wife. All right, that's it. Still pissed that I had to deal with this issue with my dividing this episode up, but que sera, I guess. We're getting close to the end of July now. Summer is almost halfway over. So we're moving right along, and hopefully, fall is getting close. Football comes back next week also. So I'm excited for that.